Number one, number two.
It removes.
Number two.
Hang on. Let me answer number one first.
What have Democrats gotten for the moral high ground for the last 4 years?
Let me answer number one first. In answer to number one,
yeah.
Destiny gets slammed by Ben Ferguson and Piers Morgan on Piers Morgan Uncensored, as Piers Morgan asks Destiny about Joe Biden pardoning Hunter Biden with the most wide-sweeping, never-before pardon ever in history. And Destiny, with his absurd argument, struggles to justify this insane act as Piers Morgan calls out the hypocrisy of Joe Biden and the damage it's going to do to the left, to Destiny, and Ben Ferguson slams Destiny's answer with the real truth of what's going on. So, folks, let's jump in.
Pardoning his son and making him above the law and making him unaccountable to the law, Biden proved himself to be a liar, a hypocrite, and a shameless opportunist. I think I speak for both Democrats and Republicans when I say that January the 20th can't come soon enough. Well, joining me now to discuss all this is the founder of the 1776 Project PAC, Ryan Girdusky, the streamer Destiny, the co-host of Verdict with Ted Cruz, Ben Ferguson, and host of the Bituation podcast, Francesca Fiorentini. Well, welcome to all of you. Destiny, let me start with you. You got anything, or are you taking a Chuck Schumer defense?
No, I think if a pardon is going to exist as a presidential power, I think this is the perfect time to use it.
Really? Even when you've told the world repeatedly, I'm not going to do that, and that everyone should be beholden to the law.
I think the mistake, if Biden made a mistake, it was to say that he wasn't going to do it.
You think?
Especially after seeing the nomination of people like Kash Patel, I think it is absolutely in good prudence to use it here rather than allow Hunter Biden to be the subject of infinite investigations for the next 4 years of Trump's presidency.
You mean how the liberals put Trump through all the criminal investigations?
Well, no, because Trump has criminal immunity from the Supreme Court, and all of his federal court cases are now dismissed, and the case in New York never had a sentencing and probably won't get one. So, no, that wouldn't be the same thing.
You seem very phlegmatic about all this, Destiny, when inside you must be hurting. Because what Joe Biden has done with one flick of his pen is he has taken away all the high moral ground that the Democrats could have had against Trump for the next 4 years. Because Trump can now pardon who the hell he likes. He can pardon every January the 6th protester. And he can do it in the sure knowledge that the moment people like you go, this is an outrage, how can you do this? He goes, you know what? At least they went to prison. Hunter Biden didn't do a day.
This is the two of the easiest questions in the world. Pierce, one, if he doesn't pardon Hunter, do you think that influences Trump's decisions at all and who he pardons next?
That wasn't what I said. I said
yes.
it removes your ability.
Absolutely not.
Destiny.
Number two.
It removes.
Number two.
Hang on. Let me answer number one first.
What have Democrats gotten for the moral high ground for the last 4 years?
Let me answer number one first. In answer to number one.
Yeah.
In answer to number one, my point to you was, if he does, and I'm sure he will, you on the left have absolutely no way to now play the high moral ground.
Yeah, folks, if you ask me, Destiny is struggling to justify this. And right out of the gate, he's going to say this is appropriate. I mean, this is insane. And Piers Morgan just asked him a simple question like, is this the same as when the left went after him for all of these made up charges, these made up crimes, these, rigged juries, rigged courts, all of this garbage? He's going to say it's not the same. Like, it's not the same. Look, the only reason that ruling went down and then said, gave the White House like basically just protection broad for the presidency is because they were going after Donald Trump in the first place. And the only reason that they're going to drop the charges against him is because he won the presidency. Like, the only way that those things happen is because he won the presidency and the fact that you went after him to begin with, right? So no, that's not the same thing. These guys' crimes are the stuff that people should be investigating. And folks, anything that I have done to research this shows that a pardon can only be used for a conviction or to stay a conviction or a clemency, something to do with actually being convicted of a crime. Hunter Biden has not spent any time in jail, right? And not only that, how can you do it for a period of time? How can you do a pardon for a period of time to cover a non-specific offense? I've never seen a pardon used that way. And if it were my way, I don't even know how you can, if you can or what, but I would challenge that in Supreme Court and just say Joe Biden is misusing the presidential powers of the actual ability to pardon to begin with in this act, to say, oh, I pardon him for an 11-year period. Well, if you can pardon someone for an 11-year period, why don't you just pardon everybody for a lifetime? Like, what's the difference? What's the difference between 11 years and a lifetime? The whole point of a pardon is a specific charge, a specific conviction, and a specific offense, which is not what he did. So I don't even know how it's legal for Joe Biden to do what he did, but for Destiny to try and justify this, and Piers Morgan is also right. It can absolutely change Donald Trump's behavior, because if you're going to say I'm going to pardon this guy for 11 years just to cover everything he does, that is so outrageous. How can I not at least pardon these people who actually did some time? The way that a pardon is actually supposed to do. And the whole argument that the left has used against Donald Trump is he's Hitler, he's this, and now they've lost it, because now they are all proven to be all of the things that they claim Donald Trump to be. But let me know whether or not you disagree with that in the comments, and leave a like if you're enjoying. Let's get back in.
Because your guy, the president, did it even worse.
What is that? What is the high moral ground? We're down a Supreme Court pick. We lost the 2000 presidency to another Supreme Court. The president now has infinite criminal immunity. What is the moral high ground gotten the Democrats up to this point? There's no point in engaging in norms when only one side upholds the norms. And to sit here, you want to talk about a farce, to pretend that Donald Trump's future pardon decisions are going to be based on who Biden decides to pardon is hilariously stupid. And if you want to talk about pardons, something that you never will hear, why not talk about some of Trump's pardons? How much time do we give to the pardon of Bannon or Stone, who was pardoned for crimes that were literally related to covering up other crimes from Donald Trump? How many people care about that? Nobody. Where's the accountability for that? Nowhere.
You know
and
the
what's
difference?
the result of those investigations? They're all canceled. So I don't want to hear anything about Hunter Biden's pardon. It's a joke.
How many days in prison did Stone and Bannon and those guys do?
I'm pretty sure, didn't Stone get clemency before he ever stepped foot in prison?
Yeah. He was sentenced to 40 months in prison, and then Trump pardoned him.
The day before, he got clemency. Also, forget Stone. Forget Stone. It's not about how much time did Stone spend in prison. It's about Donald Trump evading responsibility and culpability, because Stone didn't have to testify about him. He said it publicly. He said, oh, Donald Trump, why would I squeal on the president? And then he didn't say anything to Congress. He told another witness not to. And then when he got convicted of all those crimes, Trump said, oh, I'll pardon him. So don't talk about Hunter Biden's pardon. It's an absolute joke.
But of course, the reason that Joe Biden, let me bring in Ben Ferguson here, the reason that Joe Biden seems to have started this wide-ranging, all-encompassing free pass for Hunter from the year that he began at Burisma, where he had no experience, to be earning $1 million a year on the board of an energy company in Ukraine, when Joe Biden was the vice president, literally put in charge of American-Ukraine relationships, is that it may well cover other crimes that may have been committed in relation to that, which might have led to the big guy, as people have reported, who might end up being Joe Biden. So in a way, he's providing a blanket immunity, which I know Destiny's very upset about immunity, to the Biden family here.
Yeah, look, I think Hunter Biden's pardon was much more than just Hunter Biden. Forget the corruption of Hunter Biden for a second. I think this was the pretext, and I'm going to make a prediction here, to a mass amount of pardons that are about to be coming down from this White House in the closing days of this administration, because they put together a list of people they believe have probably broken laws. They put it out there in the media over the last 24 hours, and they're justifying his brother and anybody that took money with the Biden last name, anybody that was corrupt at the FBI, anybody that was going after Donald Trump. The list, and they're trying to say that it's somehow Donald Trump's enemies list, so therefore we are justified in handing out pardons to everyone that was involved in the Biden crime family or abusing their power to go after Donald Trump. And so I don't really care that much about Hunter Biden's pardon. Of course, this was always going to happen. This is a man that abused his and exploited his own son's addiction to make the Biden family more money. They didn't give a crap about Hunter Biden. They knew they were funneling money to a drug addict, and they knew that could cost him his life. They didn't care because they wanted the money to keep coming into the Biden crime family.
For one point against what Destiny was saying about earlier, like Roger Stone and Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon, he did some jail time. There's another couple guys, they've done some jail time as well. There have people who have gone to jail for Donald Trump, actually, right? Hunter Biden was in Congress and walked out in the middle of a subpoena, a congressional subpoena, the same thing that they levied against Roger Stone and Steve Bannon. They got charged. They got convicted. They, some of them did do time, right? Hunter Biden walked out, never got anything. And even through the gun charges, they tried to sneak basically a full just protection against any charges that were going to come to Hunter Biden in the deal. And they didn't even tell. The only reason it got caught is because the judge happened to read the whole thing and was like, whoa, what the heck? So there's been a list of times that they have tried, from saying that a laptop isn't real, it's fake, Russian disinformation. Meanwhile, at every single conceivable turn, they've been lying about all of this. And Ben Ferguson made the point is we have text messages, we have information, we have testimony from Hunter Biden's partners that the big guy was Joe Biden. Everybody knew who the big guy was. It was Joe Biden. So I think Ben Ferguson really makes a good point in that, I mean, I don't even get how this pardon is even legal. However, to cover his entire time, if they can't go after him, then they can't go after Joe Biden through him. I guess that's the argument. I mean, I would love to see someone challenge this and take it to the Supreme Court. If you can, I don't know. But yeah, this is utterly absurd. And the fact that Destiny just doesn't want to acknowledge how insidious this really is. 11-year pardon, folks. 11-year pardon. All these criminals in Congress, all these fakes, and you can just, give a pardon forever. Apparently. That's insane. And I don't think any president should have the presidential pardon ability to do that, because like I said, folks, you could just pardon everybody for life. But thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought about what Piers Morgan and Ben Ferguson had to say about Woke Destiny's delusional take on Joe Biden's absolutely absurd pardon of his criminal son, probably more likely to protect themselves. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Take care, and I will see you folks on the next one.